It's finally the Cannibal Corpse video that I've been wanting to do on this channel for a while now. Hey everybody, it is Melody back with Melody Loves Death Metal. I am going to be showing off my Cannibal Corpse collection today, all of my vinyl that I have, and then there's a couple of CDs that'll litter in. This is just their studio albums, none of the EPs, none of the bootlegs. So if you're watching this and you're like, where's the Hammer Smash Faced EP? Well, guy, it'll be in another video, so settle down. Cannibal Corpse, we don't need to talk about who they are. Everybody knows who they are, okay? Everybody knows this band. I don't need to go into a huge deep dive of when they got started, how they changed singers from Corpse Grinds like George Corpse Grinder Fisher. I don't need to do any of that shit. You guys already fucking know the history of Cannibal Corpse. In the background, I have one of my favorite death metal records playing Embalmed. I wish they would reissue this on vinyl. Please, somebody pick this up. This is a reissue that was out on Corpse Crystal a couple years ago. I love this album. Amazing album. Yeah. Cannibal Corpse, a little bit of a backstory. One of my all-time favorite bands. First time I ever really heard them, like really fully heard them, was when I was in high school, back after Gore Obsession had just come out. I had really started to dive into death metal more. I was only really listening to like the basic stuffs of death back then, and obituary, you know, the basics of death metal. And I strayed away from Cannibal Corpse because their album covers always kind of turned me off. I wasn't into the gore thing. I didn't really care too much for it. Just had this, you know, just didn't really care for it. And then I started to get a little bit more into the scene and started to meet more people who liked it, and they were super into Cannibal Corpse. So I finally went back and listened to the Chris Barnes albums, and I finally started buying them and hiding them because I was afraid my parents were going to find them and be upset with me that I was buying this music. Hey, you know, we were all young ones, okay? And then it spiraled from there, and I've just been a huge fan ever since. So I have pretty much all of their albums on vinyl. These are all reissues. None of these are first presses. So if you came here for the OG pressing, you know, masturbation fest, you're not going to get it here, unfortunately. I didn't start collecting vinyl, you know, until about 10 years ago, and Cannibal Corpse was not one of the records that I was collecting back then. But still fun nonetheless. Still want to show off. I still love, you know, all-time favorite band. People really like these collections, these band collection discography videos, whatever the hell you want to call them. So yeah, I have not unsleeved any of them. So if you hate that shit, tough. You're gonna have to deal with it. I'm also not editing anything in this video. So if you hear a dog, if you hear a doorbell ringing, if you see somebody walking in the background, which there's nobody here right now, but eventually they'll be home. If you hear a phone ringing, whatever else, you can just deal with it. It's going to be there. Also, it is several hours before I have to start working in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I just woke up. I haven't had coffee yet, so you can deal with me sipping on coffee while I do this video. All the reasons of why I was going to do a live stream for this, but I just don't really feel like setting it up and trying to find somebody, and I'm a lazy fucking YouTuber. What do you want from me? So let's get started. 1990, Heyday, Eaten Back to Life. Here we go. This is a Metal Blade reissue that came out 2016 reissue. As you can tell, because it doesn't have the old Cannibal Corpse logo, that is probably the most complaint that I've heard about these reissues. Other than that, this sounds fantastic. I do have a couple of Metal Blade reissues, or one Metal Blade reissue that sounds like garbage. We'll get to that, which has now led me to want to buy another one for that reason. Printed inner sheet, just a plain printed inner sheet. Lyrics, nothing spectacular here. No poster, no nothing like that. It's a pretty bare bones reissue of one of the most iconic death metal records in my opinion. Is it my favorite Cannibal Corpse album? We'll get to that at the end of this video. I'll talk about my favorite Cannibal Corpse albums. But yeah, don't need to talk about this one more. It's on this color. I don't know what it's called. It's like this reddish. It's got some like white splattering in there. I don't know. They just reissued these last year. I bought them all and then sold off most of my variants because I had about 10 variants of this album, which is just fucking stupid. It's just stupid, and so I sold most of them. I kept the one that I liked in terms of sound, that sounded the best. Yes, I listened to them all, and I kept the one that sounded the best. But again, no OG issue here, nothing like that. Maybe someday I'll be able to shell out hundreds of dollars for one record, but for now I am a cheapo and I will not do that. But yeah, so Eating Back to Life. People often ask in general, do you like the Chris Barnes era, or do you like the George Corpse Fisher, god damn it, Corpse Grinder, I'm just gonna call him Corpse Grinder, Corpse Grinder era, and I go back and forth. So for a long time I said Corpse Grinder all the way, and then now that I listen to Cannibal Corpse on the regular, I tend to pull the Chris Barnes ones more. There's more of like a brutality of more of like an older, like dirgy school death metal sound that I like a little bit more. But that's not to say the Corpse Grinder ones aren't bad or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I have found in recent years I've been pulling the Chris Barnes ones more. Okay, so now we're going on to 1991, Butchered at Birth. Again, this is a Metal Blade reissue. You can tell by the old school logo not being there anymore. They're using the newer logo. I love this album a lot. I think I listened to this album probably the most when I first started getting into Cannibal Corpse. In terms of the first like 5 albums, this was the one that I tend to pull a lot. I think to the point of where I've probably made myself sick of it because I listened to it so much. But I did recently go back these last 2 weeks and listen to every single album again, and I still absolutely love this album. It's classic. I mean, how can you not like Meat Hook Sodomy? Like, what an opener! My God. Yeah. So there we go. Also, that cover. Come on now. I want a shower curtain of that cover, and then there's the back. It's got the band picture. Guys looking nice and young. We've got the printed inner sheet of just lyrics, and then the iconic little baby. So yeah. Again, one of amazing albums. This sounds good. This reissue does. I know that some people who got this recent reissue said it doesn't sound that great. Mine sounds fine. So I'm not too sure if they're just some runs that are not that great. Why aren't you going in? You are a flimsy little piece of paper, and I don't understand why you're not going in. Oh, it's because the download card's still in there. That's why. Okay, so this just came out. This is one of the newer reissues. So I had this on. Oh my God! There we go. I had this on just plain black for the longest time, and that was, I think it was it a back on black reissue? I don't know. Most of my issues that I had before I sold them off were back on black. Holy shit, that was a battle. My God, that was a battle to get that in. And they didn't sound that great. I mean, back on black, back in the day, like within the last couple of years, have upped their quality in terms of that, but for whatever reason, they didn't sound that great. So this is a newer Metal Blade reissue that just came out within the last year or two, I think. Can't remember. It sounds fine. So yeah. Do I wish it had the old school logo? Yeah, and maybe someday I will get a record that has that. But for now, I'm happy with what I want. I just want the music. I just want to listen to it. It's on this crystal clear with some black smoke in there. Nothing fancy. Old school labels of the axe. That's it. So yeah, there's that one. Again, this was one that I also had a ton of copies of. I had several copies of this, and I recently just sold off most of them. I think pretty much all of them. This is the one that I decided to keep. All the other ones were like Metal Blade reissues, a couple back on black ones. I think there was even a bootleg that I had. I don't remember, but I had like 3 or 4, and I just got rid of them. So, okay, so we are at 1992, the heyday of death metal, one of the best years ever of death metal. Need to take a sip. I like this song. It's a good song. I don't know if you can hear the music. I don't know how loud it is. I'm hoping it's not too loud and I don't go to, upload this and be like, fuck, you can't hear a thing that I'm saying. Anyway, 1992. Tomb of the Mutilated. This is the one copy that I have that sounds like absolute total trash. It's just a very muddy, quiet copy. I'm not too sure why. I thought maybe I need a new needle. No, it does not sound good. And I went back on Discogs and I've talked to people and they've all said the same thing. So this is a copy that I am going to try and find a new one of. I've seen them going for stupid prices for some of the reissues, but I think I can find one in a decent price. I just haven't buckled down and I haven't sat and looked. But yeah, this reissue sounds awful. It came out in 2000. This is like one of the 2016s, I think. So it's been out for several years. But there's the back, and then again, printed inner sheet, and then finally we get some pictures there. There you go. But yeah, it just does not sound great, unfortunately. And for one of my, records that I like to listen to a lot, because again, we all know this album. We all know this is the one that, Camera Smash Face, Icon Blood. It's got all the classics of Cannibal Corpse on here. I think also the Ace Ventura kind of, started reviving the Cannibal Corpse stuff too, because of how he saw them in live in the video and stuff like that. But anyway, it's this like pinkish, reddish. There we go. Can you see it? Terrible lighting today. Sorry guys. I don't know what else to tell you. It's morning. The sun's not fully up yet. It's like this red pinkish with some white and black shit in it. But yeah, it doesn't sound that great. I'm not too sure why. Actually, the grooves don't look great. I'm not gonna lie to you, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, no, they don't look that great, so maybe that's why. Just a terrible pressing. And I don't ever bitch about sounding vinyl on this channel, like hardly ever, but this does not sound good. I was mad when I got it. But again, I will try and find another one. I know they've reissued these several times in the last several years. I will hunt for a new one. But yeah, and for whatever reason, I have it in a sleeve that I don't care too much for either. I just, really don't like this pressing at all. I'm just going to complain about the sleeve and everything. But yeah, unfortunately, it happens. I'll find a good one eventually. Even if it's just plain black, I'll look for it. I know I'll find it anyway. I just need to, finally stop being lazy and want to fork out money for another Cannibal Corpse album that I don't need to do. So there's that one. So if anybody wants that, let me know. I'll sell it to you. And then finally, the last Chris Barnes record, 1994. This is a brand new reissue. I just got this. They just released these. I sold off my plain black copy of this after they reissued this because I'm a scum and I like to collect color vinyl. I'm not gonna deny it. I saw it and I really liked it, and I wanted the posters and stuff like that came in it. The one that I had before didn't have any of that stuff, so yeah. The Bleeding. This is the original artwork, I think, and then you'll see the censored artwork as well. A Metal Blade reissue that just came out this year. They just announced these like a couple of weeks ago. Here's the front. There's the back. So, and all right, so this has a very nice poster in it, and I'm gonna back up so you can see it, of the original uncensored artwork, and then what you've seen of the censored artwork. I think this is like, is this what they originally issued the album with because of the original artwork? I don't remember. I don't know the history. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. Somebody will correct me in the comments regardless, but yeah. Really, really nice reissue. These sound really good. So if you've seen them on Metal Blade's website, because they just announced these, you're questioning it, definitely buy them. It's definitely worth it. And then printed inner sheet of just a picture collage, and then lyrics, nothing crazy. But yeah, so this is admittedly one of Cannibal Corpse's best albums. I'm just gonna be honest with you. In terms of in terms of lyrical content and like what the songs are about, not that great, not that great. But still, ironically, Stripped and Strangled is one of my favorite Cannibal Corpse songs. So, but yeah. Okay, so, like I said, these Metal Blade reissues are pretty legit. So here we go. It's pretty good. Little half-C splatter there with like a Coke bottle clear. Looks good. Definitely goes well with the album cover. But yeah, great. This is a really good reissue. So if you're thinking about getting these because you saw that they just announced them, I even sold several on my distro. Do it. They sound good, and it's really nice jacket. You get a really cool poster, all those little goodies, and for the price, it's not too bad. I mean, $30 is about the normal rate for Metal Blade records, so not too shabby. All right, so there you go. There's the bleeding. What am I at? 15 minutes. All right, we're doing good. Okay, 1996 comes, they get rid of Chris Barnes, they get Corpse Grinder, and then they release Vile. This is also a brand new reissue that just came out this year. I traded off my plain black version and got this one. There was nothing wrong with my other version. I just, again, I'm a collector scum, and I like colored. So there's your Vile picture. Your Vile picture, literally, quite literally, it is a Vile picture. Again, this one, there's the back. So a lot of people either dog on this or they like it. I don't know. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about this album over the years. It's not perfect by any means. I think Corpse Grinder finds his way with this band in a couple of later albums, but I think in terms of a debut from a band that was, you know, in their popularity and everybody loved their, you know, first albums in terms of the death metal scene. So I think he did good. I think he fit in well with the band. So here's the poster of the Vile image and then the special close-up of the guy right there. And I think they put those on a couple of CDs and stuff like that. Like I've seen a special edition CD floating around with just that album cover is of close-up of the guy's face, but yeah, that's the censored version. I like how they're including both versions in these reissues on their posters. It's just a nice little touch. And this one, it is on this gray with red splatter with the old axe. So yeah, goes really well. Goes really well with the album cover. They did a nice job of these. I can't get this in. Half of this video is just gonna be me re-sleeving my records. Enjoy. I know how people love that. It's probably one of my most complaints that I get sometimes when I do these videos is like, take them out of the sleeve before you record so we don't have to watch this. I'm so angry about everything in the YouTube space. Okay, this one's give me a pain in the ass, so I will put that aside. But yeah. So Vile, good album. Like I said, it's not perfect. There's some stuff that I don't really care too much for on that album. But again, I think, you know, Corpse Grinder coming in and taking over at the lead spot, I think it's a good debut album. All right. So now we're getting into a lot of albums that I re-listened to for the first time in several years. And have a little bit more of an appreciation for now. I admittedly, a lot of these just sat on my shelf and I didn't touch them for a while, just because I just love the first 4 albums a lot. So, and you know, I listened to Vile quite a bit, but this one is also a brand new reissue that just came out literally like within the last like week or two. I only had a plain black version of this because it was hard to find for the longest time. They reissued this several years ago. All the colors sold out. I got the black, and I was the only one I had for a while. But I did not start trying to get the Corpse Grinder records until within the last like 2 or 3 years. I always told myself I'd be fine with just the first 4 on vinyl, and then whatever, I get the CDs for last, and then that obviously changed. So, Gallery of Suicide. This one I used to not like ever. I never listened to this album, and then within the last like year or two, I picked it back up again, and I really like this album now. I definitely have more of an appreciation for it in regards to the sound and stuff. The sound was a little bit wonky. There's some cheesiness on here that I was not a fan of when I first heard it, but now I love it. I think it's a great album. I have listened to it a ton the last several weeks. The day that for the gallery day of Cannibal Corpse Day, when I was respinning all of these records or re-listening to all their albums, I listened to this one several times that day. Really just dove in. So again, poster of the uncensored artwork, and then this god-awful stupid one. I don't understand. Whatever. I'm not a big fan of that. But yeah, I know there's like CDs and stuff floating around with that album cover, and I think they actually, did they stop reissuing a censored version? And I can't remember. I don't know. I'm blabbing now. But yeah, again, this is a brand new record. I just got this like within the last week or two. They just came out with this issue. It is off-white with red splatter. Mastered vinyl in 2022. Mastered for vinyl in 2022. So there we go. Looks good. The stickers are different. No longer has the metal blade, iconic metal blade hammer. But yeah, so this sounds great. So again, they just put these out. If you're thinking about buying some of these reissues and wondering how they sound, I think they sound great. They sound better than my Tune the Mutilated that I have, that's for sure. So yeah. All right, we're gonna start to speed this along because we're going at 20 minutes now, and my camera might run out of battery, so we'll see. Okay, so next is 1998. Nope, I lied. 1999, Bloodthirst. Had a plain black version of this, and because I'm a collector scum, sold it and got the Nessie variant. You know, Northeastern Steel Industry. It's a Japanese or Chinese variant. I got it off of Blast Beat vinyl. As you can see the sticker right there. They had a bunch of these in stock for $40. $40. If you buy this directly from Nessie, it'll be $60 plus shipping. No. So they reissued these, and these hadn't gotten reissued in a really long time. So these records were hard to find. They're out of print for a while, and this is what everybody was doing to get them. So I finally started getting them because I think they look awesome. Again, I'm a collector scum. What do you want from me? And this sounds phenomenal. So if you're not familiar, these are not bootlegs. They're officially licensed. They're just the Asian Chinese version of it. So with the OBI, they're known for having that like matte finish on here. And there's the back. This is not a numbered one. I can't remember, but they've reissued these a couple times now. This is maybe like the second or third reissue that they've done. Printed inner sheet. And then these posters are really nice, and I wish you could like feel it. They're super thick. They've got like this really nice matte finish to them. So again, similar to the Metal Blade reissues, the original uncensored artwork, and then this god-awful terrifying baby thing on the other side. That's terrifying. I don't know, I'm more terrified of that side. Look at that thing. That evil, sadistic looking child. But anyway, so yeah, nice. These are really nice reissues, and this sounds phenomenal. So this was my test. I bought this one to see how it sounded, and it sounded great. So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna buy some more because I'm that person. And of course, it's on this beautiful, beautiful splatter. Whew, there we go. This pink red splatter. And yeah, they sound great. So yeah, this album is underrated. I'm just gonna say that. I listened to it several times after getting this and was just like, wow, I can't believe I didn't listen to this more back when it first came out, or when I first like heard it. When it first came out, I was a freshman in high school? I don't remember. I wasn't able to buy my own music yet, so I didn't ever own it until now. But this is, yeah, it's so underrated. I love this album after listening to it these last couple of weeks and just like revisiting myself with it. The Cannibal Corpse logo is right there. I don't feel like taking the OBI off to show you guys that, but yeah, Bloodthirst. Alright, so now we're going into Gore Obsession 2002. This is my first like real Cannibal Corpse album that I dove into. It came out while I was in high school. I remember seeing a kid in school wearing this shirt, and he got in trouble. They made him take it off. We became friends when I found out that he listens to death metal, and he admittedly is still one of my best friends. We still talk all the time. So yeah, another Nessie variant. Got this from Blast Beat as well. This is one that I didn't own on vinyl up until a couple of months ago. I got the black version because I just saw it for sale on Discogs for like a normal retail price. And then I got the Nessie variant. So there you go. This album sounds phenomenal. This is another one that's just, I think, is a little underrated. I think people need to give a little bit more of a chance. Is that the censored version? I think it is. I can't remember or if it's like an alternate Euro something. I don't know. I'm making shit up at this point right now because I don't really know that. Okay. Big ass poster. Yeah, that must be the censored version. And then other side. Oh my god, these posters are so big. There you go. This sounds great. Again, that Bloodthirst was a test. Do I want to get these Nessie variants? Because these were hard to get. These Corpse Grinder reissues were hard to get. They didn't press them very often, so then Nessie got the rights and people just ate them up because, like I said, they were hard to find. And this is also on a pink, oh god, the splatter on this is amazing. I forgot. Pink vinyl with the red splatter. Looks awesome. I forgot how awesome that looked. So yeah, I love this album too. Again, another underrated album, one that I like. Obviously, I first heard, and it brought back a lot of nostalgia. But I admittedly, when I started diving into Cannibal Corpse, I just kind of neglected this one after a while. I think because I was just bored and tired with it. But yeah, another underrated album. You should all check it out. Re-listen to it. Let me know what you think. I think it's phenomenal. Okay, and so now we are getting into the Wretched Spawn. Admittedly, one that I never really cared too much for. I don't mind it now. I listen to it now, and I've got some stuff that I enjoy about it now. But this is one that I've always kind of neglected. Another Nessie variant. This is the last one. These are the last ones I bought in terms of Nessie. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I like it now. I just never really cared for it back then. It was one of those ones I often just ignored and forgot about for a while. Also, in the day of this coming out, let's see, when was this released? 2004? Yeah, I mean, I was heavily into, was this like the Fear Factory days? I don't remember. This is when I was really starting to dive into a lot of the, like, those popular bands. Rage Against the Machine was raging. Yeah, but anyway, there we go. The poster, and then the censored version, which is just whatever. This album cover, I think, might be my least, no, not my least favorite, but yeah, I don't know. This one, as you can tell, I don't have a huge admiration for. I like it, but it's just not my favorite right now. And then this comes on a pretty cool variant of this green with red splatter. So it looks good. And yeah, as you can tell, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. It's definitely a little bit lower on my list of my favorite Cannibal Corpse albums, but we'll get to that at the end of this video. I will do a quick album ranking. This video is going to be like an hour long for that reason. Okay, and now we're getting into 2006 and Kill. Kill is an amazing record. I love this album. This is, I think this kind of re-energized my love for them. Worst album cover that they've put out. I read they just wanted something abrasive and to the point, so they just, you know, did kill. I think that's what I read. But yeah, this is just a plain black issue. Look at that. I'm capable of having just a plain black copy. There's the CD over. And there's my dog barking, as always. Yeah, I think the CD is done. All right, well, whatever. Kill, and then this guy on the back. I just got this not too long ago. This was another one of those that's pretty hard to find. They did reissue these on the Nessie variants, but I can't find them anywhere. They're sold out, and people are selling them for like $100 a piece, and I'm not going to do that. So I was able to find just a plain black reissue of this. I think this came out in 2020, so it's 2020 reissue. And again, it's just plain black. I don't need to pull it out, so I'll show you the sticker. That's the sticker. Nothing fancy, but yeah, I love this album. I think this is one of the best Corpse Grinder albums that he's put out. I still think that way. This is one that I've always really loved. Some people really hate this album. You know, to each their own. Subjective. Everything is subjective in terms of music. Everybody hears things differently. But yeah. Oh my God, get in the goddamn sleeve. Thank you. Jesus. So that's Kill. All right, now we are getting to Evisceration Plague 2009. I do not have this on vinyl. They have not reissued this in a really long time. The reissues that are out there are like $100, stupid prices. I'm not going to pay it. So I'm hoping that they reissue this soon. But I do have it on CD. Ooh, that's hard to find. That's hard to see. So let's take that out. Good album. Not one that I listen to very often. But I'll show you some pictures right there. But I do like this album. I hadn't heard it in a really long time. I popped it out when I was listening to all their albums the last 2 weeks, and I was like, oh yeah, there are some really good songs on this album. One that I haven't listened to this in a while. So I'm hoping that they reissue this on vinyl because, you know, I would like to have it on the same format as all of my other albums. And then Torture 2012 is next. This album is phenomenal. I love this record too. I wish I had it on vinyl. I do not. I've only been able to find picture discs for like $70 on Discogs, which I am not spending $70 on a picture disc. So I got the digibook. Some great imagery right there. There you go. There you go. You know what it is. Again, I can't wait. I hope they reissue this soon. But yeah. So those are the two CDs that I have. Figured I would show them off in this video, even though they're not a vinyl. So now we're going to 2014, one of my personal favorites. I think one of the more underrated albums, and that's A Skeletal Domain. Yeah, I remember when this came out, I woke up really early and went to the store and got it. Yeah, I love this record. I don't know, people really dog it sometimes. I think it's great. So this is the first time gatefold, I just realized. So yeah, it's a gatefold. There you go. And then a poster, because of course, whoop, this one's massive. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show this whole thing. It's just the album cover. I'm not gonna unfold it all. It's not, there's nothing on the other side. It's not a double-sided poster, like all the other ones were. So yeah, the album cover is a little bit dark, but yeah. I love this album. I think it's underrated. People need to listen to it more. Just plain black vinyl. Yeah, I can't remember what issue this was. I'm pretty sure I got this the day it came out. Anyway, my record store didn't have any of the colored copies. I think there's like 1 or 2 color variants of this. They don't reissue this one, or they haven't reissued this one, have they? I don't know. But yeah, okay, so I lied. I do have some OG copies in my collection, because, you know, they came out so, you know, within recent years, so it was easy to do that. But yeah, remember I woke up really early this morning, and I went to the record store and got that. I was super pumped. I love that album. Saw the Detour. That was when I really started to see them live, like every chance that I could possibly get. I love that album. Same thing with this one, Red Before Black, 2017. This is also, I think this is an OG copy too. I bought this like a couple weeks after it came out. I like this album. I love this album, actually. I think it's highly underrated. I think Corpse Grinder has found his voice. Like, I really like his vocals on these. I know it's more of like a modern sounding death metal record, and it's not Chris Barnes era and whatever else. A lot of people have a lot of issues with it, but I really, really, really like this album. And this is one of my favorites, I'll be honest with you. So yeah, I totally lied at the beginning of the video. I do have OG copies, just not of any of the older ones. They are of the newer ones. First presses. Holy shit! Why are you so hard to get in? That's what she said. And this is just plain white. Nothing fancy. Nothing spectacular. No crazy coloring. Alright, that's going to be a pain in the ass. I'm not going to do that on camera because we are now at 36 minutes. And then finally, 2021, Violence Unimagined came out. We've got Eric Rutan now on guitars. Pat O'Brien had his, like, insane breakdown. I don't know, got arrested and with guns and shit. So Eric Rutan comes. When I first bought this record, I got the other cover of just the face with the tongue. And you'll see, because there's a picture of it in here. I hate that album cover, but it was the only one that I was able to get because these sold out so quick. But I really wanted this one, and so I bought this like a week later off of Discogs. Some like local shops and distros were finally getting them in stock. I paid like $10 more than what I should have, but this was one that I originally wanted. So, yep, Violence Unimagined. This is the uncensored version, but you'll see. And to me personally, this is my favorite vinyl pressing in the whole entire collection that I have, and you'll see why in a minute if you're not familiar. So this is that beer splatter version. They've reissued this a couple of times now on other colors too, but I'll take it out of the... But this comes with this book, this hefty book that is so awesome. I wish they had done these with, more recent reissues, but it's this art book, and it's got all the artwork in here, and like they did music videos around this and stuff too. But yeah, it's huge and massive, and I just realized I don't think they have the uncensored artwork in here now that I think about it. Well, I don't have that anymore. Oh, well, kind of. Yeah, it was that face with the tongue, which I just was not a fan of whatsoever. I thought it was such a stupid album cover. Eating the baby. But yeah, I really like this art book that they give you. I think that was a really nice touch. When I remember when I got this, I was like, oh my god, why is it so freaking heavy? Because of the art book. So yeah, I like this album. A lot of people dogged on the sound and the production of it. The production's a little bit different than past albums, but it's not too bad. I don't know. I don't have any qualms with the production. I really like this album. I still listen to this a lot. It's Cannibal Corpse. They are a well-oiled machine at this point. They sound like Cannibal Corpse from their last several records, and they're still making good music. So yeah. Is it one that I generally pull from the most? No, I mean, I still listen to it. I still pop it on. It's still on. It still plays on like Sirius XM, Liquid Metal and stuff. They still play these songs a lot. But yeah, I really like that album. So that is my Cannibal Corpse studio album collection. I do have EPs and bootlegs. I will do that in another video because I don't want this to be an hour long. And then Cannibal Corpse ranking will be coming next after this. I'm going to break this video up into two, so I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do ranking, do a 3-part Cannibal Corpse series. So yeah, thank you guys. I've been excited to do this. Let me know what you think. Again, if you were looking for like the OG, oh, I want to see the old school pressings. There's a couple of other YouTubers out there that have those videos up, and they've had them for a while. Go watch those instead. Just don't even comment. It's not worth it. But yeah, that's all that I have, and I'll see you guys in the next couple videos.